Okay, this night's Raw is going to be known for two things. One, the go-home show before Extreme Rules, or the return of Brock Lesnar after he debuted like a decade ago and then left 8 years ago, as well as the death of the Divas division. Around over 3 hours, they actually developed storylines. It's really weird when they know how to do that. It just took them 3 hours to do it. And Alex had some pretty solid matches. I actually made a list because there actually was one, two, three, four, five, six. There were 7 matches. That's like a pay-per-view's worth of matches. And they did it in 3 hours with what felt kind of like minimal promos. But they began with the contract signing. So just John Cena standing in the ring because Lesnar hadn't shown up yet. And then Edge out of nowhere shows up and gives one of the standard, pep talks to John Cena. But this one was probably one of the best ones because, ironically, those two had a fantastic feud. It made me think, maybe with Edge's contract expiring, maybe they should hire him on and he can teach people to do these things called promos. He cut a fantastic promo telling John that he has to beat Brock Lesnar. He just has to, because Lesnar's in it for the money. Well done promo. Then we come back to Jericho and Kofi Kingston. Again, these two guys put on a solid match. Great back and forth. With Jericho winning. And then going on another tirade about Punk being an alcoholic and all this, that, and the other thing. Really not a huge fan of that storyline, but, Then they cut to Punk in the back, and apparently Jericho left me a gift basket full of booze. So I'll continue with that storyline. That then led to Alex Riley saying that he saw Punk drinking. And then Jericho witnessing Punk drinking, and then going to tell Laurinaitis, his new secretary, Eve, and Teddy Long, I saw him drinking. That means if you're caught drinking within a 12-hour period of being in an event, you lose your title. It must be a new rule, because I seem to recall this guy called Stone Cold Steve Austin who used to, well, he didn't really drink that much beer. He kind of just poured it all over his face and down his chest. But he was champion while he was drinking beer in the ring on the job. Just gotta throw that out there. Just throw it out there. So they held a field sobriety test as the second hour main event. Punk acted drunk just to get Jericho into the ring. Then he did the alphabet backwards while walking the sobriety line forwards and backwards. He was doing it like Ric Flair and doing a really horrible moonwalk. He himself said it was a horrible moonwalk just to attack Jericho. Awesome. And it was a really good, solid beatdown. Nice way to lead into their match going on next week. Lord Tensai took on R-Truth. Tensai won using the claw, and he actually got a pinfall using the spit into the claw. They again did a Lord Tensai promo, which made no sense. He's getting better, but yeah, they got to do something with him, something pretty fast. Okay, there was a pretty solid match between Sho and Khali versus Rhodes and Del Rio. Khali's still nursing an injury, but of course they were able to defeat the team of Rhodes and Del Rio. All in all, pretty decent match. Kane came out and talked about beating up Randy Orton's dad, and Randy Orton went, well, hey, you know what? Toss your dead Paul Bearer into a freezer. Kane was like, I don't care. You do that. My father's the devil. And then Orton showed up and beat the crap out of Kane. Good continuation of that storyline. Sheamus took on Mark Henry with Daniel Bryan as a guest referee. Sheamus is the clothesline, a 3 count that probably takes about a second to go through and Sheamus loses. Again, decent continuation of that storyline too. When Lesnar finally showed up, he more or less beat Josh Matthews and threw him into a wall. So the third hour main event was the contract signing. I know I'm not going at all in chronological order, I'm sorry. Lesnar said he had a new contract with new things that he wanted to have done. Then Cena finally came down with the chain. Old school chain with a lock on it. Finally signed the contract. And it had better tension with those two than almost any time when it was The Rock and John Cena. It should be a pretty interesting match. You know, both of them kind of have to win. So it makes it actually an interesting match for that. What other matches did we have? Ironically, we had 2 joke matches back to back, which I thought was kind of bizarre. The team of Santino Marella took on Epico and Primo, and they won. You saw Santino went for the Cobra. He got hit with a dropkick, rolled through, got back up and landed the Cobra. Beautiful match, beautiful match. And then they had a match brought to you by the Taco Bell Dorito Shelled Taco. And that was Brodus Clay and Hornswoggle dressed like mini Brodus Clay, so I guess he'd be like Brodus Pebble, or Brodus Peat Moss. And they took on the team of Swagger and Ziggler. Match was ended in a DQ when Vicky Guerrero got in the ring and slapped Brodus, which then led to the Brodus Hornswoggle enclave surrounding her and Hornswoggle biting her caboose. I also mentioned that today was the night when the Divas division died. Okay, Beth Phoenix was like a week away from being the longest reigning Divas champion. Yeah, she held the belt for almost 204 days or something. 211 was the current record set by Maris, or Maurice. Yes, the attractive blonde heel was a champion for almost a year. So she took on one of the Bellas, either Brie or Nikki or Gouda, whichever one it was. And then it became a lumberjill match. Beth Phoenix, while goes into the ring, looks like she injures her ankle. She then gets like gang mobbed by all of the Divas, rolled back into the ring, and the Bella gets the 1, 2, 3. So your new Divas champion. Yeah, it's not Tamina, it's not Natalya. It's one of the Bellas again. So I guess maybe they re-signed the contract to have an extension. They were supposed to have been close to leaving the E, which wouldn't have mattered. But I guess now they're back yet again. Maybe, I don't know. Really, really close to having the like actual legitimate run for the Divas champion. Even though the belt gets defended about as often as the tag belts do. So it's again a Bella. At this rate, they might as well have a feud against Tamina and at least put the belt on someone that you go, you know what? She can wrestle. Put it on the Bella. You know, if Beth Phoenix has a legit injury, you know, that kind of sucks. I know that they were banking on having her face Karma at WrestleMania, but with what happened to Karma, they really couldn't do much with that, and, you know, they have zero rewriting skills when it comes to women. So, I guess here we are again with the Divas belt going back into the languishing limbo that is a crappy female wrestler. Oh, I forgot, they don't call them wrestlers anymore. They just call them Divas.